Hey, welcome back to Cooking with Cookie. I'm Cookie, and today we're going to do one of my favorites, leftovers. We're going to throw a bunch of leftovers together. If you were in the Midwest, we call that a casserole or a hot dish, but it's actually fried rice. And so we're going to use some rice that I cooked a couple nights ago. It's important that you don't try to cook your rice the same day you want to make fried rice, because it just gets mushy and soft. It needs to develop a little crust on the outside of the rice. So we got a mixture of white rice and brown rice, 2 different batches. We're going to use some onions, carrots, jalapenos, green onions, firecracker sauce, garlic, sesame oil, eggs, and something that doesn't happen often in our house, but some leftover beef. So this is actually beef. It's not elk this time. If Dave was here, he would actually eat some of it with us. So with that, we'll get started with the rice. A lot of times what happens, if you put it in a container back in the refrigerator, it gets a little clumped, it clumps together. So we just break it up a little bit, no big deal, right? So break that up and we coat it. It's good to coat the rice 5-10 minutes, maybe even 20 minutes. You can't do it for too long. We're gonna coat our rice today in delicious firecracker sauce. Just be generous. Get it in there. We're gonna use about half the bottle for, this looks like to be about 6 cups of cooked rice. And the idea is to just make sure that the rice and the sauce get together and they have a dance. And pretty soon you don't even notice the sauce because it's all over the rice. What this does is it serves a couple purposes. One, it really helps impart the flavor of the sauce onto the rice. But secondly, it also gives that extra coating on the rice to help give you that fried crispiness. So we picked a sauce that has a little bit of sugar in it. When that sugar caramelizes, it's going to taste delicious and it's going to look good too. Okay, we got that. Set that aside. I'm going to prep our vegetables. I'm going to start with the garlic. Remember the garlic? We got a couple of garlic tricks. Don't have our little garlic peeler thing today, so we're just going to do it old school. Crush it, peel it, set it aside. I got 3 cloves of garlic we're making 4 servings of fried rice. This is a little bit maybe excessive, but I like garlic. If you don't like that much garlic, don't use that much garlic. So one of the things we should be doing is heating up a pan, because all these vegetables are going to get fried in a pan. So as soon as I finish chopping this garlic, it's very important that you chop the garlic fine. If you don't chop the garlic fine, you get a big old whiff of garlic, big old mouthful of garlic. It can be unpleasant, especially if you're not as big a fan of garlic as I am. So I'm going to heat up the wok. We're actually cooking with a wok today. This happens to be a carbon steel wok I picked up not that long ago. Really killer, easy enough to season. It's already non-stick, better than a little bit lighter than your cast iron woks, but big fan of the carbon steel cookware. We're gonna saute vegetables, so medium heat. And I'm going to saute them in sesame oil. Don't be shy about the oil. There are varying recipes. A lot of people like to use butter. I love using butter to cook with. Trying to lose a little bit of the roundness. So we're going to forego the butter today. Sesame oil has a lot fewer calories, although it is not calorie free. You got to remember that. All right, 2 jalapenos fresh from the garden. So when I saute peppers at home, I have to turn the fan on and tell my wife, you know, hey, maybe now's a good time for you to go buy a purse or something, because especially with the spicier peppers, not so much with jalapenos, but with the spicier peppers, it will off gas. And it's the same, although not nearly as strong, but it's the same chemical makeup as what they put in pepper spray. In addition to the peppers, carrots, and 2 different kinds of onions, because you can never have enough onions, we're also going to use some frozen peas. The trick to using frozen peas in this recipe is just not get in a hurry. All right, we're going to cut these. These are already quartered carrots. We're just going to cut them a little bit down more, about the same size as our peppers, and a little bit bigger than our garlic pieces. This is just as much for color as it is for flavor. One of the things that I don't like is carrots overpowering the rest of the dish. If you use too many carrots, that absolutely will happen. A lot of onion. We're going to use a lot of onion today. It's about equivalent to a medium-sized onion. This is a Vidalia sweet onion. Again, not an overpowering onion. Drop these right in the pan. Throw the rest of the vegetables in there. So while the vegetables are cooking, I'm going to cut up the meat. This was actually this was a Korean dish my wife wanted me to try from the Magnolia Table. This is just New York strip. Okay, so we're gonna add some spices to the vegetables. We got cumin and black pepper. Doesn't have to be, you don't need to go overboard with the salt. Okay, we're gonna add the peas into the vegetable mix. About a cup and a half. Get that good. Add a little bit more color. Make a half a pan available for the rice. Now we're going to mix everything, incorporate everything really good, and let that crust on the rice develop. Now we're going to drop in our soy sauce. A couple tablespoons. That just kind of helps, it makes it a little easier to serve. Helps firm up. Throw other eggs on top. We're going to let this cook for a few minutes. And when we come back, we'll plate it up. Serve it.